is CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Nasha Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. We begin with a developing story. Hialeah police have reached a conclusion in a death investigation. They say a recent shooting was a homicide. Investigators located a silver pickup truck on the side of the road. This was along the northbound lanes of the 826. It was just north of Okeechobee Road. They found a dead victim inside. No word yet on the identity. If you have any information, call police. Daring video of a chase on the 836. Take a look. Troopers stopped an SUV for speeding. Driver initially stopped, but then took off. The trooper performed a pit maneuver and got the driver to stop. Inside, troopers found marijuana, cocaine, and around 900 Xanax pills. Dozens of people gathered in protest. They're against a plan to make major changes at 9 state parks. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray reports.
And here at Oleta River State Park, this was one of several demonstrations going on statewide to basically protest a plan by the state to transform 9 parks to do certain additions, including, in some cases, actual hotels, additional cabins, pickleball courts, and even golf courses. So these people came out to demonstrate. There were about 100 people here at Oleta River State Park, a lot of adults, a lot of children. They were carrying signs, Save Our Park, Respect the Earth, Hands Off State Parks. So this again is to demonstrate and to have a voice against what the state plans to do. Now, I spoke to the state on Monday, and they told me there's a lot of confusion about these plans, a lot of misinformation going on out there, and they invite the public to weigh in on these plans for these 9 state parks. They were supposed to have the public hearings this week. Instead, it's been transferred to next week, and they're going to have a timeline for that, and they're hoping that the public turns out to voice concerns about what the state plans to do at these 9 parks. We'll have an update coming up at 5 o'clock. Reporting in North Miami Beach, Joan Murray, CBS News Miami.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, a little overcast right now. We had some early morning showers, but they've all moved out west. This is typical summertime weather. Let's get right to Next Weather. Meteorologist Cindy Pressler tracking what's ahead.
This is the kind of stuff you expect at this time of the year. We're getting to the end of August now, and look at that temperature, 90, but the high so far today has been 92. Highest heat index or feels like temperature of the last hour was 106 in Miami, and that is why we have a heat advisory in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. Both Miami-Dade and Broward counties are included in that. And it's so sticky today, this combination of heat and humidity. We've now seen a heat advisory in effect for 43 times so far for Miami-Dade this year, 41 in the Broward area. So this is really not going to come to an end. We'll see more of this extreme heat as we head into the rest of the week. The only thing that's going to help us out is a better chance for some showers and storms. We'll see that, I think, by the end of the week. At this point, a few showers this morning, but look how they all slide off to the west. And I know you're going to see this little spin down here. There's an upper level low that could spin off some showers across the southern portions of the viewing area as well. So we're going to up those rain chances just slightly. At this point, it's just a nice little spin. There are some showers and storms. Looks like that wants to come in the very southeastern corner of Miami-Dade. So tomorrow, we'll go with about a 40% chance for showers and storms, a lot like it looked today. Same thing again on Thursday, and then we'll start to up those rain chances for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Some tropical moisture sliding in from the south and east. That'll be the reason for it, but this is not going to be a washout this weekend, but it is going to bring us a pretty good chance for rain and maybe bring those temperatures down just slightly. So this is what we're looking at again. East-southeasterly flow, so anything that does develop will be along the coast earlier in the day. Then they move over into the interior by midday and then off to the west coast by the afternoon into the evening. This weekend, a better chance for rain, more of a southeast to southerly flow. That'll bring in that tropical moisture, so we'll have a pretty good chance for some rain. Let's head out to the tropics, because yesterday we were looking at this new blob. This is a 20% chance for possible area of low pressure to develop, but as of today, as we look at everything, we go through everything here, it just doesn't have a lot of oomph. It does not look like we're going to see a lot of development out of that. So we'll see what the National Hurricane Center comes up with for the next update. At this point, we're nothing to be concerned about right now. Very unusual to see this late in the season now. So here's your forecast. Temperatures will stay in the 90s. It'll feel like it's in the triple digits, and that does include Labor Day on Monday.
Miami-Dade police need your help catching a killer after an overnight shooting. Police say 29-year-old James Duke was killed. The shooting happened just before 2 in the morning near 119th Avenue. Police say he was shot several times. He died at the hospital. If you have any information, call police. Caught on camera, a family is uneasy and a neighborhood is on alert after a creepy encounter. Surveillance cameras caught this man walking up to a home in Little Havana. The Peeping Tom stared into a 6-year-old girl's window as she was getting dressed for school. He then touched himself inappropriately. The homeowner says his daughter doesn't know what happened, but is scared to go back into her room. The family is furious and wants the man caught.
I'm shocked, he says, nervous. He shouldn't be free, should be in prison. I imagine he has family like us. He wouldn't like that to happen to them.
Police say the suspect left in a black Honda Civic. If you recognize him, call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. The number is 305-471-TIPS. This afternoon, a federal judge has temporarily blocked a landmark effort by the Biden administration. It's to offer 500,000 undocumented immigrants who are married to American citizens a path to citizenship. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
When President Biden announced his executive action in June, he called it a common-sense fix for undocumented immigrants married to American citizens.
This action is a better way. It doesn't tear families apart while requiring every undocumented spouse to fulfill their obligations under the law.
But today, the program is on pause after a federal judge in Texas temporarily blocked it. It followed a lawsuit by 16 states with Republican attorneys general. President Biden's policy allowed unauthorized immigrants to apply for temporary work permits and have deportation protections if they're married to a U.S. citizen and have lived in this country for at least 10 years.
They are members of the community, contributing both economically and in the job market. So it's an unfortunate setback for them and for the administration.
Musafir Shishti is a senior fellow with the Migration Policy Institute. He describes the challenges those spouses had faced under congressional law.
They're supposed to leave the country and get their green card from traveling abroad. So that's obviously a huge inconvenience and separates families.
President Biden introduced the policy after a separate executive action he announced to limit asylum seekers at the southern border. That was met by major pushback from progressives.
In the absence of congressional action, the border remains a top election issue.
We will seal the border, stop the invasion, and launch the largest deportation effort in American history.
While this latest challenge plays out in the courts, the Department of Homeland Security confirmed Tuesday the agency will continue accepting applications for Biden's spousal policy, but it had stopped approving cases. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Now to the Israel-Hamas war. The Israeli military announced today they rescued a hostage. He was abducted by Hamas back in October. This is a picture of the hostage. He's now free after being rescued in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. Officials say his health was good, but as you can see, he's now recovering in the hospital. The 52-year-old is father to 11 children. 2 Delta Airlines workers killed on the job. What went wrong at one of the busiest airports in the world? When we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. 2 Delta Airlines workers are dead. Another is hurt. It's after a tire explosion at a maintenance facility in Atlanta. Atlanta Fire and Rescue says they responded just after 5 this morning. An airport spokesperson says the incident happened on Delta property. It did not impact any operations at the airport. In this afternoon's Health Watch, the heat can create dangerous conditions for student athletes. Heat stroke is among the most dangerous heat illnesses, and it can become deadly if it's not treated right away. CBS News Miami's Elaine Cajono visits a school where prevention is top priority.
It's time for football practice once again at Red Bank Regional High School in New Jersey. Roaming the sidelines is certified athletic trainer Christina Emmerich.
If you recognize it in treatment, exertional heat stroke is 100% survivable.
Among the tools she uses to protect students, this device, which measures what's called the wet bulb globe temperature. That number tells Emmerich how much heat stress athletes may be experiencing.
When you look at exertional heat stroke, how big of a problem is this in high schools?
So it's one of the 3 leading causes of death in high school sport in America. And a lot of our field tests.
Doug Casa is the CEO of the Corey Stringer Institute, named after the Minnesota Vikings player who died of heat-related illness in 2001. The Institute's mission includes the prevention of heat-related sudden deaths and helping rehabilitate athletes.
Basketball here first.
Among them, Ryan Swoboda.
I remember I got there and I wanted to prove myself.
In July 2017, on his 3rd day of practice as a freshman on UVA's football team, Swoboda collapsed. His core temperature had shot up to a life-threatening 109 degrees. He spent 3 weeks in the hospital and more than a year in rehabilitation.
I had damage to a lot of my organs.
But he recovered and went on to play professionally in the NFL. The Corey Stringer Institute recommends schools have athletes get acclimated to the heat before practicing in full uniform, take mandatory water breaks, and have a cooling tub to treat overheated players. Also key,
make sure their high school has an athletic trainer, because they don't want to depend on a coach if their child is going to die or live when they have a medical emergency.
Elaine Quijano, CBS News.
Happening tonight, the $575 million Mega Millions jackpot will be up for grabs. Nobody won Friday night's huge jackpot. June 4th was the last time someone won the big prize. You have a 1 in 300 million chance of winning, but hey, at least you got a chance. That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.